Hey guys, what can I get started for you today?
Bananas away, regular?
And I'll have the rip berry, but can I get vanilla oat milk and I'll add spinach and ginger? And can I substitute the raspberries for strawberries? Also add the chia and hemp seed and definitely have the power booster and the collagen booster. And can I get that blended twice?
Wow.
For Alicia, Custom Chaos?
One of a kind.
You're one of a kind.
Booster juice, freshly made, your way.
The rock faces around Lake Tahoe are legendary. But this fall, new ones will emerge in the Tahoe Basin. Pullman, Moe, Gushu, and more. November 4th through 9th, the Grand Slam of Curling's first ever event in the U.S. is coming to Lake Tahoe, where the greatest rock stars on earth unite for 6 days of incredible curling, celebrity appearances, and après curl parties you won't want to miss. Get your tickets at thegrandslamofcurling.com. Let's rock!
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Edmonton, Alberta here at the Saville Grand Prix. This is quarterfinal action here between Team Van Amsterdam and Team Yamaguchi. My name is Matt Sussman, and alongside me is Gord Coppathorn. And Gord, we've got two teams here with identical records, 3-1. They haven't ever played each other. What kind of game are you expecting here?
Well, Evan tends to go for it fairly quickly. I know a lot of the international teams tend to go for it quickly, and this ice curls quite prominently, so I suspect we'll see Roxon play fairly early.
Yes, we've seen a number of games here with points on the board early, not a whole lot of blanks, which would make a whole lot of sense. This is a quarterfinal match, as mentioned, so you need to win to survive. Both teams have only one loss on the weekend so far. Yamaguchi won the pool by head-to-head. Van Amsterdam was second in their pool. But they did do a draw to the button. Van Amsterdam will take hammer. They'll be throwing the Yellowstones. And Yamaguchi throwing the red. And this is Satoshi Koizumi. Looks like they're drawing in to start out.
Nothing like a safe start. Nothing long, nothing scary. Right down the middle. Evan, you decide what this end is going to look like. That's what that says. And Evan says, I'm going to make Gord look dumb and immediately start with a hit.
Yeah, well, we may be looking at the blank on the first, but there's always a chance for them to do the delayed corner. We'll see. So we have Parker Konshu.
Konshu, yep.
Konshu, okay.
Konshu, that's right, yep.
We eventually get the names right here.
We gravitate towards the right answer.
Looks like they'll be trading hits. While we sort out all those hits, just the other games going on, and they are all available on Curling Stadium. And we have Soo-Yuk Kim, the Team Korea potential Olympic team, against Takumi Maeda. We'll have Wouter Huskins from the Netherlands play Ryan Jock. And Jacob Libis will face off against Kosuke Hirata in the rest of the quarterfinals.
Sounds like a very international playoff. I like it.
That's right. That's 4 different countries represented. You're starting to see that everywhere now. Just different flags everywhere.
They just like giving us lots of challenging names to work with.
Oh, and they do, and they're very good at that. A vexillology fans trying to identify all the country flags.
Well, we're carrying on with the nice, simple weight hits. Trade our way to a guard here in 2 more rocks, so somebody's going to blink.
Yep, that keeps it easy. I know they're not the most fun ends to watch, but these are very easy shots for players to execute, and that'll warm them up for when they get into the harder ones later this game.
A lot of players actually like this kind of thing because in the practice, you throw almost exclusively draws. So then you get a first end where you get to practice some hits, get a little momentum, feel good about your whole mechanism. Everything works out for you. And you get a few extra minutes on the clock. So while it's not the most entertaining, it's good for a team.
So there's a hit and roll. That may have been the idea. Like you said, maybe they didn't want to roll to a guard.
Yeah, the center guard was not going to give Evan anything useful, so rolling off to the edge at least moves it off to the side. So now if Yamaguchi noses, okay. Now if Evan noses, his is actually a guard. So then it makes it just subtly different. And then Yamaguchi has to decide to roll in, roll out, risk leaving a guard for him to draw under. A game within a game.
And they say blank ends are boring.
Anything's difficult if you think hard enough.
So we have Jason Ginter here at second. Wearing the Blue Jays hat. Wonder which team he's rooting for tonight. Rolls in.
Evan decides to take the game within the game away and just roll into the house and keep it simple.
So Yamaguchi does skip the team, but he does throw third stones. And Riku Yanagisawa will throw fourth.
Nicely done. Yeah, I aspire for that kind of smooth enunciation.
Years of practice. Minutes, even.
Ooh, this is not going to stick around for long.
That is a rollout, so that's a half miss. This is an opportunity. Evan can guide his team to pretty much go anywhere he wants, and he's going to elect to go to the wings.
One of the nice upsides of defending against simple rocks in house is defenders can get away with half shots. Attackers, they kind of need 3 out of 4, 4 out of 4s to really make it work.
So here's Jeremy Hardy. This is again a shot. You mentioned shots you practice. You normally try to find your center line, T-line weights. You don't get a lot of chances throwing straight down the middle to the wings. So an opportunity here for Jeremy.
Well said. Inside out tends to be a quarter to a half second heavier. So coach would say, don't ever throw a rock without learning something.
That's right. Now Yamaguchi is going to see what the hits do out here. No worries, hits it right on the nose.
Gets rid of the noise in the background. Double takeout.
Oh, that's a bonus.
2 in the corner, whether it mattered or not.
Even though it won't count on the scoreboard, I'm sure. Skips just hate walking around those, don't they?
Tripping hazards. They're being safe.
I'm sure some skips may have some arrangements where any rocks like that, they'll just kick anyways. Maybe on a Tuesday night league.
Oh, the number of games people lose on those silly little not in the housers at the back. Well, we're creeping our way up to the front of the house again.
We are up to skip stones. So Yamaguchi can still hit and stick and be in. See what he's got.
Well, you got a lot of sweep going on. That's what we do so far.
They'll make contact. They will roll. Is it going to stay? It doesn't look like it. And that will spill out of the house. Not out of play. Not enough space to freeze there. So I think Evan's just going to go to the middle.
Now that rock went a little too far. If it had been within a rock of the house, Evan probably would have drawn to that side. Maybe it jams on it and sticks around, but to your earlier point, it's now just a safety hazard. So pick where you want to draw.
As mentioned, one of my favorite features of Curling Zone stats is just seeing the history between two teams, and both of these teams are not unfamiliar to the tour, but they have not played each other ever as a skip head-to-head. So even if they're not if they're familiar with each other, seeing their names on the scoreboards, they have not played an official game.
That's actually kind of impressive, because I certainly know Evan's been on the tour a long time. If memory serves, Evan even lost the Alberta provincial final last year. Not that he would have played Yamaguchi there, but he's been around and competing for a while.
Yeah, there's always a possibility that he could have played on a team that did play against Yamaguchi.
Fair.
But we don't have that information.
I'm not sure I can think of any time when Evan wasn't skipping his team. I'm sure he did a few years ago.
All right, a little bit of a roll hit, and here is Evan's chance to hit and roll out. No danger of hitting that red in the back. Pretty simple shot for Evan here.
And this is the wonderful power of the first end. If you stick it, you go, yay, let's pretend we didn't have hammer and we executed a steal. If you roll out, you go, yay, that was great. Mind over matter.
Final stone of the first. Looking for a rollout. Enters on it right away, all the way. And that is not going to roll out, but that will be a point on the board for Team Van Amsterdam. They will take a 1-0 lead as we come back. We'll be back for the second end.
That's life. That's what all the people say.
Hey Ben, what's the Aztec Safety online e-learning website again?
Yeah, that would be aztecsafety.com.
Fire extinguisher and firefighting, we'll send that one to Paul.
Ah, now here's a course I should probably take. Conflict resolution.
Power line safety. Yeah, I thought it might help me with my line calls. Did you know this Aztec website has over 100 safety courses?
Jeez. Aztec Safety online course. Ground disturbance. Could have used that a few seconds ago.
Live curling rocks. And this November, the best in the world are coming to Tahoe. Get your seats now at gsoctickets.com. But hurry, early bird pricing ends soon.
Hey guys, what can I get started for you today?
Bananas away, regular?
And I'll have the rip berry, but can I get vanilla oat milk and I'll add spinach and ginger? And can I substitute the raspberries for strawberries? Also add the chia and hemp seed, and definitely have the power booster and the collagen booster. And can I get that blended twice?
Wow.
For Alicia, custom chaos?
One of a kind.
You're one of a kind.
Blister juice, freshly made your way.
We're back here in the second end after what looked like the entire way a blank end. Team Van Amsterdam noses their rollout attempt and will have to settle for a single point. And Gord, that is a bit of a mental mistake on the part of Evan.
Well, I wasn't entirely lying when I said first in, you can mental your way out of anything. So you go, oh, we were second seed in our pool. We didn't have hammer. We stole one. Good job, team. But yes, it's not the way you typically script a first in. But it happens too often.
Yes. It is. It's part of the game. You still got to make the shot, as simple as it is.
And you always hide in the safety factor, right? You wouldn't have wanted to flash and give up a steal. Your bailout is, we got one. It's okay.
Yeah, it's an unusual game in which we say you're disappointed that you scored one, but that is the logic and the calculus of this game is you don't want just the one, you want more than one. So they'll have to regroup and try to force Yamaguchi to one themselves, and they've got a pretty good setup here, center guard and a rock in the forefoot, half buried.
That was one of my thoughts. If Evan had blanked it, he probably would have been inclined to do that again. Tough to say, second end scoring, yay. But with him having taken one, he is going to feel the inclination to try to steal this end to keep the even ends in his camp. So it should be more interesting.
So looking at Van Amsterdam's season thus far, he's played 3 events. He was in the Saville shootout here earlier in September, and the Prestige Hotels Curling Classic in Vernon, BC, and he made the quarterfinals in both of those. So for this season, he has qualified in each event. He's looking for his first advance past the quarters.
Well, as a foursome, they certainly have the horsepower. Like I said, they lost to Kevin Cooey in the Alberta final last year. So it's not for lack of ability. They just got to keep plugging away at it. It's kind of a silly sport. You can be amazing, but sometimes you also need a little bit of fortune in your favor.
Yes, and with this being an Olympic year, Gord, you have many teams that are looking to qualify in B Team Canada, and Van Amsterdam is not at that tier at this moment. Their goal is the Brier. So correct. With different goals in mind, they may be more focused on that, with the Brier possibly being a consolation prize for some of these other tems.
That's a pretty darn good consolation prize.
Absolutely, yeah. It's all about perspective.
It also makes you wonder, like, are all these international teams more engaged this year because it's an Olympic year? Or, are they putting a little bit more effort in or spending a little bit more time overseas? So the whole year becomes a little bit more complicated and interesting.
Yes, and on the note of the Olympics, this Yamaguchi team did win their trials to be Team Japan. Now, the country has not qualified for the Olympics. They've got some work to do in Kelowna in December. There are 2 spots available to go to Cortina, Italy. And they are going to be a strong contender. They're going to have to go through countries like the United States, like China, the Netherlands, which is their team is here this week. You got South Korea. You've got some heavy hitters. And so with a field like this, probably comparable to the field they're going to see in Kelowna, there's a lot to play for here.
Yes, every game matters, that's for sure. That will be an extremely interesting event. I quite often find the step before the Olympics is as good as anything.
Yeah, be a very good match. We see we're hit and roll out here, though. So that's an opportunity for Van Amsterdam to bury underneath that center for good.
And for anyone who's been lightly watching, we've been getting about 5.5 feet of curl quite consistently on these sheets. Most of the times I'm getting are high 14, so these are really, really playable sheets. You can do almost anything you want to on them.
I haven't really seen any bad spots on these sheets. It's really good conditions.
Well, I seem to think it's pretty decent. And the late break really, really works in favor of burying as long as you read it right.
Yep, so Jeremy Hardy gets that one underneath. Might be a sliver on the other side. Not much, though. It's a pretty good result. Top 4, just where you want it.
Now, with the guard being halfway, they are thinking there's enough room to get to, you need about a quarter. Call it a quarter rock with a light board and just push the yellow through.
It does seem to be what Yamaguchi will attempt.
So now Yamaguchi was a bit light and narrow on his 2 hits in the first end. So let's see if he gets out clean to the broom here. Not a lot of room for error on this one.
So here's Yamaguchi's first. Can he get enough of that buried yellow? Sweepers are on it right away. And they will not be past the guard. They will clip it, push it off, and open up the front.
Yeah, no harm, no foul. Losing the guard there certainly forces Evan to defend. It's the right way to miss that. That's kind of in the first end. I don't know if he's tight icing his release. It's not quite as assertive, if you might, than a lot of the other players. So maybe he's just getting early curl, but that's certainly 2, if not 3 of his hits that have over curled.
So Hardy will try to put the guard back here. Getting the line on guard seems to be the most difficult thing, but they're getting good at it. This one's coming over.
As a coach, I quite often tell people take 2 inches more ice for the guard than you did for the draw, which is wildly counterintuitive. But you catch the curl early and your sweepers can make it go farther. And to your point, 9 times out of 10, guards over curl.
Yes. Nothing you can do about an over curl other than make it stop, hold up your hand. Now, with all that said, they did get the line right, but that one slipped into the house, and this is going to be an opportunity to hit them both, see if they got the nose double, maybe a little bit off nose.
And maybe squeak into the house and make Evan hit back. If it's nose, it's just outside the house, and Evan may say, fine. But I don't know. Evan's pretty cautious about those things.
Yamaguchi's attempt needs to curl over, and that will just get by. Shooter goes over to the side, and that will be an interesting decision for Evan. He probably needs to make a play on it because it stays in.
It's so early. You can craft a steal out of a rock in the top 4, obviously. But you really don't want to risk giving up a 2 or a 3 when you didn't need to in the second end. Evan's also not throwing a draw, so to spin it around and throw a tight guard perfectly in front of the yellow one, maybe not the right time for that.
Enough space here for the out-turn hit on Van Amsterdam's first.
Ooh, working hard to keep it out there.
I'll make contact and roll inward just a little bit.
Oh, double take out.
Yes.
Remove the safety hazard. Now that one, to your point, you could have thrown either turn. So it becomes a question of which one are you comfortable calling, and if you can call both, which is your favorite turn?
So being where that rock landed, Yamaguchi, we'll see if his fourth can hit and roll underneath and try to generate a possible 2 here.
There's technically 2 guards to hide behind over there. There would be a port if you were in between them, but it at least makes it harder for them. Little subtlety, they're using the turn that will roll lower, so then the distance on the run back would be bigger.
Oh, they got the hit. Did they roll too far? They did not. They are closer in the back 12, but like you said, it's out in the open. It's a uncomfortable port, but that's a pretty good result for Riku Yanagisawa.
That was a terrific shot, I agree. It's about the best you could do. The other upside with this one is it's such a steep angle, it's going to be tricky to keep both yellows in play. You'd have to do this just right to keep them both. So if we assume one yellow rolls out, then Yamaguchi's team's going to have an opportunity for a blank back.
Looks like they're going right at it, Gord.
No, they're going for the port. That's fair. They had choices.
You know, Evan just threw this shot. Very similar turn, very similar spot, so he kind of knows what happens here.
Probably a little bit more weight to take a hair of the curl out. Evan's no stranger to throw it hard.
Here's Evan's last rock. Find the hole. And he does. Very nice shot, and that rock will stay in play. Very good shot there by Evan.
Yeah, you can see this coming down. He throws the little bit more weight. Positive release. And I believe that's Parker on the sweep just to make sure it gets through the hole. Coming in clean. Whiff, whiff. And to our earlier point, now both yellows are in the play, and Yamaguchi's going to have no choice but to take one.
It's again a matter of comfort level with a lot of hits being thrown here. Yanagisawa will be asked to hit and stick on the one in the back. If he does, they will be on the board here.
Nice choice of weight. Nothing too crazy. Enough to get it out, but let your sweepers work it.
That'll be a well-managed hit, so that will be a 1 point back for Team Yamaguchi. We've got a tie game again, and we'll be back for the third end.
Developed over a decade in collaboration with the finest ice makers this side of the Atlantic, the Pebblehead PB5 is nothing short of a triumph of sophistication and craftsmanship. Weighing less than half its lumbering copper predecessors, yet boasting tenfold their durability, the PB5 delivers perfect, consistent ice, time after time. The PB5 by Pebbleheads.com, the apex of ice-making ingenuity for the roaring game of curling.
The 2025-2026 Grand Slam of Curling schedule is out, with big events happening all over Canada, like the Masters heading to London in September, the Tour Challenge from Nisku this October, the Canadian Open from Saskatoon in December, and the Players' Championship from Steinbeck coming in January. Early bird weekend and full event passes on sale now at gsoctickets.com. Let's rock!
Congratulations.
Back here in the third end, the Saville Grand Prix. These are quarterfinals. We had a force in the first, well, a missed shot that led to a single point, and then a force for Team Yamaguchi. So we're seeing the level of play start to go up a little bit, Gord.
You know, as a coach, I would tell people watch that last end, because that is controlling and managing a clean end. That was actually really well done, because it wasn't just bang, 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 bang. You actually had to think and execute. It was well done.
So both teams, having not officially played each other before, they're starting to get used to each other here. And as for Team Yamaguchi, there's several fans watching us live from Japan. Their fan base is known for watching their fellow countrymen and women here on YouTube. So we appreciate your dedication and watching this feed. We love seeing all the support for all their teams here.
I give their programs full compliments for the progress they've made in the last decade. So welcome and thanks for watching. This is kind of a fun one. So Evan decided to draw around Yamaguchi's center guard. That kind of went away for a while in curling. The team with hammer would just throw up the corner guard and such is life. But this play has started creeping back more and more, especially with mixed doubles and things where people are getting comfortable playing around the opponent's center guard.
Yeah, is that also I've heard that's also a result of people getting better at the center run backs as well, getting them out of trouble if they need, right?
Certainly doesn't hurt to be able to do that cleanly. You don't tend to like to do it with the opponent's rock, but they're less afraid of sticking it than they used to be.
I'm always a big believer in mixed doubles driving some trends. You're seeing the from the playing around the center, and you've got your directional sweepers or the one dominant sweeper. There's definitely trends that are percolating into the four-person game.
Yes, a lot more willingness for corner freezes, little taps. And Evan is no stranger to mixed doubles. Him and Paige Papley have been playing together in that format for at least 4 years. So he's not daunted by center guards and tricky ports.
We're starting to see a few more rocks in play here. See if Ginter is able to get around this. Is that the... Oh, he's trying to get through this hole here, trying to remove the redstone. Does make contact, and he will roll just biting back 12.
That's a pressure rock, so nice shot by Jason there. Would have been nice to stay in the middle, but hey, staying in the house is certainly good enough. Early enough in the game that Yamaguchi's not inclined to try anything aggressive yet. He certainly could have went around his guard. You leave the outside sticking out, and maybe it jams on that yellow one. You know, lots of choices out there, but third end, don't have hammer. Ew.
That's a hit and roll. Yeah, hit and roll out there. And Gord, would you also say the strategy changes versus in a pool play where you've got a few different games, and then versus the quarterfinals where you can't lose this one or you're done? So would the conservative play come into effect a little bit more during the playoffs?
I would say that's team mantra. Like, you have to kind of decide that when your season kicks off. Some people would say, let's not take risks. Let's make them make mistakes. We'll beat them with patience. And other teams will be like, no, we don't want to give them an opportunity. Go for the throat right away. So it's pretty much a team paradigm.
I think both of these teams are playing rather patient. We have nothing in the house. We have a couple of guards. Something to hide underneath.
They're certainly working to get this one into a good spot.
They've got it by, just barely ticks the center guard, redirects it, and that will just barely get top 12.
Yeah, that was an unforced error. Even half open down in the house would have been significantly better than that. Because the problem this creates is if red noses it, they're really controlling that middle. And then Evan's going to be most likely inclined to just clean up. He's not going to want to draw underneath it with a 3-foot run back under guards available.
That doesn't sound fun, I agree.
And yet they seem surprisingly uncertain about this. You could technically draw into the house, but then you're giving Evan the 3-foot straight back. No, I'd be nosing this one and looking at their last 2 rocks at the end quite happily.
Tsuyoshi Yamaguchi with his first. See if he can capitalize on a mistake. Control the front of the house. Sweepers are managing it well. They will hit. And just roll half a foot. Is there a way in for Evan?
You can certainly get in. I just don't know it's a risk you really want to take. This hit and roll makes way more sense. If you had to steal, you'd probably draw the 4-foot. Third end, tie game with hammer. Not likely a risk you need to take.
So hit and roll attempt here. Trying to push this one over. And that will roll. Oh, just barely outside.
And there was the downside of that choice. If you don't get in the house, free shot for Yamaguchi to do whatever he wants. And you don't have a clear run back. Sort of that angle one.
Yeah, they're both just kind of in some awkward positions there.
If you really want to know, I expected Evan to clear the front one, but the hit and roll got you in the house. So I understood. I just was a bit surprised he didn't go to the center guard first because it was the more dangerous rock. All the same, they were really close. Only needed to roll a quarter rock farther and they'd have been in the house.
Yamaguchi's second here. Opportunity to sink one behind those center guards. Does he have the draw weight in him?
Sweepers seem to think it's pretty close. Easy clean.
There it starts to break.
Now they're thinking heavy, so they're doing that knife thing.
The carve, it needs a name, doesn't have one yet, but
yeah,
they do push it back button. That is mostly open, very chaseable.
So now this is an interesting opportunity. You could play to it, cap the button, then they're likely to freeze to you, and you're going to be hard-pressed to generate a 2. You could hit and roll away to sit one in the back of the house, which isn't a very scary rock, and leave them that exact same draw again. Or you could smash the front and say, let's see what we can get away with. You could actually hit about a quarter of that top red, cross over the yellow. The yellow would go back and possibly clip the one in the back of the 4-foot. So there is actually choices here.
I think the people always like to see the heavy ones with rocks going everywhere, but I think they're going to play for the simpler one here. And I liked what you said about the hit and roll back of the house. That seems to be a good safe call, puts the pressure back on Yamaguchi, and I think that's what they're going for here.
And maybe this is where, having never played each other, you kind of got to guess your opponent. Maybe Yamaguchi decides to ignore a rock in the back of the house. Maybe he's cautious and wants to hit the rock. So we'll find out shortly.
Yep. It will make contact. It's not going to roll anywhere. It's going to stick right there. And it is covering the pinhole.
Now, they had a bit of clearance on the guard, so you may be able to just cross the nose and squeak an inch of curl, or a roll, I should say. It's all about weight. They would be perfectly happy with just staying there, hit and stick.
Last couple rocks down this path haven't curled as much as either team would have liked. See if Yanagisawa can nose this one with his first.
Well, got to be close. On, off, straight curl.
Sweeping to carve it over there. It's coming in, and it will just roll a few inches, but it does remove the yellow stone.
Now Evan's thinking, hey, I can get 2 inches of roll underneath. Half a rock would be absolutely dreamy. Top 4 mostly buried. Once again, got to make your weight. Overthrow this and you'll roll a rock in the open.
Again, Gord, we could see, but there's 3 rocks left. It could be a possibility of a blank. It could be a force. It could be a 2. It could be anything here.
Well said.
If we knew, we'd tell you. So here's Evans first.
Holding the line early. Nice shot.
Oh, they do.
Excellent.
Good. With good weight there, they do roll underneath. They are sitting the one under cover.
Well, the subtle little thing there is you didn't actually need to remove the red. You needed the roll, and they got both. So brilliant shot. To the earlier comment to mixed doubles, that is very much a mixed doubles shot. Hit it just hard enough, but get the roll.
They were looking at some angles there with the yellows. I don't know if you could have thrown tried to throw a hard one through the port and it would have redirected. I think they're just going to try to freeze.
Yeah, they got choices. You could try the run back double. There's no harm in it. The worst you can do is still give up 2. The corner freeze cuts off a lot of the 4-foot, makes Evans draw really hard. If you come up a little late, it's not the end of the world. If you draw the 4 foot, it's not the end of the world.
Well, and I think the other thing here with Yamaguchi as their last, they want to get a rock in the house because there's a split for 3 if they miss that run double.
Correct.
So this is Yamaguchi's final stone, thrown by Riku Yanagasawa. Trying to make that freeze attempt to make the shot for 2 difficult. This one is getting in there nicely, and that will just land in front, not even they are locked solid there. So that's going to be a tough draw for Van Amsterdam, who hasn't really thrown many of these. I think he threw one in the first end, and that's it.
You got to sell yourself on, hey, we did this in practice, and even that last hit I threw was, call it 20 feet heavier the draw. So give yourself a nice pump-up speech and get a weight from your sweepers and just trust your skill. You can see tons of curl out here. They're barely in the house with this, and they're trying to draw the edge of the button.
Not a lot of ice to draw to. Evan Van Amsterdam's final stone, last rock of the third end. Trying to take 2 here. He's got 1 for sure. And no problem whatsoever. Finds large piece of the button. So that will be 2 points on the board for Team Van Amsterdam. They will take the lead as we go into the 4th end. We will be right back.
Developed over a decade in collaboration with the finest ice makers this side of the Atlantic, the Pebblehead PB5 is nothing short of a triumph of sophistication and craftsmanship. Weighing less than half its lumbering copper predecessors, yet boasting 10-fold their durability, the PB5 delivers perfect, consistent ice time after time. The PB5 by Pebbleheads.com, the apex of ice-making ingenuity for the roaring game of curling.
Live curling rocks. And this November, the best in the world are coming to Tahoe. Get your seats now at gsoctickets.com. But hurry, early bird pricing ends soon.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
Back here for the 4th end. It's a quarterfinal game here in the Saville Grand Prix. And Gord, we saw a really well played end that resulted in Evan Van Amsterdam needing to draw to the button to score 2, and he had no problem whatsoever.
Yeah, it comes down to that one really good hit and roll on his first one, which forced Yamaguchi's hand. And then you see here in the replay, no help required. Just put it right in the 4 foot and put a 2 on the board. That was a very patient end and capitalizing on a small mistake with that subtle roll away on, I believe it was the 7th rock of the end.
Yeah, they were struggling to find that line down the middle. Evan found it with his first, and he got the skip's deuce as a result of it. So now Yamaguchi will try to counter, try to find a couple of points of his own.
I'm intrigued that Evan was just throwing them in the house already. He's sticking with his patient game. I always call that draw to the 4 foot, the you decide how this end's going to play out shot.
Mm-hmm. So we've got a rock covering the pinhole. We've got a corner guard up. We have seen this script before. This is a very standard setup.
We had talked earlier about how sometimes when the team without hammer throws a center, the team with hammer just immediately goes around it. When you throw yours in the house, that's clearly not a choice, and they're almost forced to throw the corner because nosing it just racks up a blanked end, and switching hammers would help Evan in this case, so I get it.
Parker Khonshu will get a tight guard there. So 2 good lead rocks. You love to see it.
Yamaguchi says mixed doubles.
Yep, you could use this corner. He's going to not use this corner. He'll have his lead. Satoshi Koizumi. Draw down to shot stone.
Now you'll settle for pretty much anything other than clipping the guard.
Cougars are not off this one at all. Got good line. Do they have the weight? We got 3 brushers. And they do drag it there. Just full 4. That'll do the job.
They probably would have preferred that to been a little less curl, a little bit more on the Evan side of it, because now Evan can corner freeze that one, and it won't be too hard to pop the red out. But hey, frozen in front of the yellow is always a good thing.
Yeah, these freezes, you worry so much about the weight, and the line is also crucial. Now, this one needs to curl over. It's starting to. They're moving it over.
Looks a hair heavy.
They're going to make contact, and they're going to push the Yamaguchi stone to the tee line. Not exactly a freeze, but looks okay.
Oh, I love that exaggerated take the one in the house out. All right, run the middle one back and make a bunch of rocks move.
There's a potential triple here. So if you're waiting to see those, here we go. This is Takeru Yamamoto. And they will make all 3 move. They will get 2 of them out of there. That's a pretty good shot there by Yamamoto.
Also got a corner out of it. That might have been better than the triple. There's a lot of positives in that. Shot rock, corner guard, 2 less yellows, no yellow guards.
Yeah, no wonder he called
it. Brilliance.
Still chance here, though, to sit 2. Jason Ginter's second.
Audible, go the other direction.
So they're 2 for now, but there is a chance to make the double and roll underneath the higher corner.
Now here's your question. Are you prioritizing the double or are you prioritizing the roll? You can do both, but which one do you want to make sure you do? I kind of prioritize the roll here. If you hit and roll perfectly under that guard, even if one yellow lingers somewhere, you're in good control. Looks like they're going to pick up the weight a little bit, so you should make both.
Yamamoto made a dandy on his first. Can he repeat it with a double and or roll? Seemed to be close. And there is the double, and there is the roll. What a shot to Karu Yamamoto.
Nice and clean. Simple. Let your sweeper come in. Get it early to hold it straight. Coming in easy. Bang, ba-bang. 2 in the corner. And we'll just park this one under the guard. Like we parallel parked it in practice.
Don't often see on the scoreboard when a second dominates an end, but when they do, they completely change the trajectory of this. As we see almost double back, that's almost a double peel there for Team Van Amsterdam. They do leave a corner though.
Yeah, there's still rocks to hide behind, but that red's now wide open, which was kind of what Evan was really after.
It's a lot of rearrangement happening here in the fourth end. A lot of good shots.
He almost pushed that red one in the house. That was a whisker cute.
Yeah.
So now they're planning to go under that guard of the outer 12-foot. Not a lot of real estate over there, but even half a rock buried. Evan will just go after the open one.
Oh yeah, you'd be tempted to go under the yellow, but this creates more separation.
This is the more obvious two. Because even if Evan decides to try to go around his own, you have enough curl on this sheet to move him, so long as it's not perfectly buried.
So Yamaguchi throwing his first. Trying to split the house here.
Just don't split the yellow.
It's that slow, methodical push.
Just don't split the yellow.
They are past the yellow. Now where does it stop? That will be back 12. Mostly undercover. Chaseable, but I don't think they're going to chase that one.
Oh, this is Evan Happy Land. This is a makeable double. This has got a lot of positives too. You hit it a bit thick, you roll under the guard. You hit it thin, you roll under the other guard. You hit it too thin, you make the double. As he just tapped every single one of those statements.
Do one of those.
Hit less than nose and we'll see what good comes of it.
So Jeremy Hardy, a lot of tolerance on this shot. A lot of good things can happen. See what he does with his second. They're on it right away.
Early.
So it will roll. It will roll to almost underneath the yellow. Pretty good result. It's going to force Yamaguchi to deal with it, and it's not going to be easy to spill it out of there.
Oh, you'd have loved 3 inches more curl if you're Team Amsterdam. Because then the hit is thin enough that the jam is quite possible. The roll will be hard, so on and so forth. But this is basically wide open. So hit and roll back to the other side. They're very methodical about how they call their shots. I can assume they go through the dialogue of what weight you're going to throw, how much curl you're expecting, so on and so forth. I would suggest that the more advanced teams get, you have a favorite hit, so you don't have to burn quite that much. You just say, hey, I love control weight. This is the ice for control weight. I'm going to throw my favorite. Because in this case, you can pick what weight you want.
Yep, so here we go. Yamaguchi trying to hit and roll back. Should have plenty of space. Not going too hard on it. They will make contact and they will avoid the jam, and they will roll back 12, and those two are pretty much level.
There is most definitely no double. And Evan is definitely not going to risk a 3 by going after or around his center guard. So Yamaguchi's worked their way into a really good tie chance here. As you said, hats off to the second Yamamoto for taking over that end.
I don't know exactly how you keep track of those second shots, those ends. I don't know, number of rocks they get rid of or something. You put a star on the end or something. But that was definitely the difference in this end so far, as Van Amsterdam will look to hit and stick and just concede the 2. We're managing it pretty well here. There's the nose.
And even if Yamaguchi noses back, it's not going to be high enough for a double. So, yep, trade rocks.
And again, you mentioned it earlier, and these ends look relatively simple, but there's a lot of complexity into rock placement and weight choice, and it's showing, and there's a lot of shots being made on both sides here.
You really can't take any shot off. Even last end, it came down to that one hit rolling out 2 inches, and Evan got a 2 out of it. Like, you really can't take a shot off.
They will add up. Those half misses will exacerbate the situation here. We've got a slight roll back. Again, no double.
Evan didn't have to waste too much thought process there. He knew what his plan was before it even came to stop.
That does help speed the game along when you know what you want to do. Is there anywhere he could roll to make this difficult, or is this just gonna? There's really no space. He just has to execute the hit.
He is throwing the flat roll about as hard as he probably can. So theoretically, you could end up rolling behind that yellow one. Again, it'd be hard pressed to keep it shot. And then it's going to be a very simple hackish kind of shot to push it through and get one. Right there would have been shot. It was worth an attempt.
Yep, they'll do the hit and roll. He's going to leave an open draw there. Again, just take the open side there. I think they eyed if there was a split opportunity, and I don't really think there is.
You would have to basically nose it, and then your shooter wouldn't really roll. You'd have to do an Adine, throw about 27 rotations,
with
hit it just off nose.
With a spinner, anything is possible.
I'm pretty sure they don't practice that one, though.
No. So this is final stone for Yamaguchi, thrown by Riku Yanagasawa. Just needs paint. No panic on the sweepers. A very simple draw that'll land, and that'll be 2 points for Team Yamaguchi. They will tie this game back up. We are halfway done with this game. We'll be right back for the 5th end.
For over 20 years, the Sandra Schmirler Foundation has granted more than $9 million to hospitals across Canada for life-saving equipment for premature and critically ill babies. In the past 4 years alone, $4 million has been granted thanks to the curling community's incredible generosity. The need continues year-round, and with your help, we can ensure every baby has the chance to grow up and become a champion, just like Sandra.
guys, what can I get started for you today?
Bananas away, regular?
And I'll have the rip berry, but can I get vanilla oat milk and I'll add spinach and ginger? And can I substitute the raspberries for strawberries? Also add the chia and hemp seed, and definitely have the power booster and the collagen booster. And can I get that blended twice?
Wow.
For Alicia, Custom Chaos?
One of a kind.
You're one of a kind.
Blister juice, freshly made your way.
That's life. That's what all the people say.
Welcome to therockshop.net, the official store for the Grand Slam of curling. Whether you're looking for the best hats, stylish clothing, fun toys, or unique accessories, the Rock Shop has it all. Shop online anytime at therockshop.net for exclusive Grand Slam of curling gear, or come see us in person at your next event. Therockshop.net, where fans find their favorite curling gear.
We've got a 3-3 game here after 4. Both teams are going to take a well-deserved break for a few minutes, regroup, maybe have a snack. Really close game so far. We will come back for the 5th game and after a word from these sponsors.
Developed over a decade in collaboration with the finest ice makers this side of the Atlantic, the Pebblehead PB5 is nothing short of a triumph of sophistication and craftsmanship. Weighing less than half its lumbering copper predecessors, yet boasting tenfold their durability, the PB5 delivers perfect, consistent ice, time after time. The PB5 by Pebbleheads.com, the apex of ice-making ingenuity for the roaring game of curling.
Live curling rocks. And this November, the best in the world are coming to Tahoe. Get your seats now at gsoctickets.com. But hurry, early bird pricing ends soon.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
And we're back here. Teams are back on the ice. We are in the 5th end of a quarterfinal game here at the Saville Grand Prix. My name is Matt Sussman. I'm alongside Gord Coppathorne. We've had a really well-played first half so far, Gord.
It's been a very precise game. Very small misses, accounting for a couple of twos, but well executed.
Absolutely. So there are 4 games on the ice across our 10 sheets. They're all spaced apart pretty well. We'll do a glance around the rink and we'll see what we got here. Over on sheet 2, that's Team Libis against Team Hirata. That appears to be a 4-1 advantage for Libis. Over on sheet 4, we have the Netherlands national team, Team Husgens. That is a 1-1 game. We have not hung the 4th end. Over on sheet 6, we've got South Korea's national team, Suya Kim. They've got a 2-1 advantage over Takumi Maeda. As we glance at our feature game here, once again, they're playing out in the center line, and as some bonus action, we see some practicing over on sheet 10. That is Caitlin Laws' team, just getting some rocks in. They do have a Grand Slam coming up. So a lot to watch this Sunday morning. Come back to our feature game here. So we do have rocks on the center line, but it looks like Parker's draw attempt slipped a little deep.
Yeah, it does play out like Yamaguchi put the center guard first, not in like Evan. Okay, fine. Parker was asked to go around, went a little deep. Now the double guard, maybe intentional or not. It's a perfectly nice spot for that rock. And Evan will again try to own the forefoot. Bit interesting to see them intentionally throw the double center. And it's still on the fifth end. They are technically feeling a little pressure with only 4 ends left. The only bummer of stacking the guards like that is they can't use them for defense.
Yes, Konshu's second attempt there. Looks like he got around better on the weight.
There's room to get a red in there, into the forefoot, and be shot. But then you run the risk of Evan just freezing it back and cutting the whole forefoot off. So generally speaking, when you have hammer, you don't want to shrink the whole house to just the forefoot. Certainly not on the first 4 rocks at the end. So now he's kind of going, man, I wish these reds weren't quite the way they are. Corner freeze is an option. Still doesn't play super nice with the stagger of the guards. They did tap back 4 at one point, but Evan would be really happy with that. You could do the peel of shame, which is actually looking kind of tempting at this moment. Even if you execute this corner freeze perfectly, Evan still has the whole forefoot to then wrap another one around, and it certainly curls hard enough. I have this stinking suspicion that those red guards are going to get moved sooner or later in this end.
Yeah, we're 4 rocks in, and they're already in trouble here. They don't want this to get away from them. This might be a bit of a safe call, if you will. Try to limit the damage. Don't want to give up more than 2.
So now with their second guard, imagine if it was half a rock farther to the right and fully open. Now you've got promotable rocks. So just a subtle mistake on that one. This isn't heavy.
That is going to bump the guard and kind of straighten it out a little bit. So now they've got a couple of guards that they can use there.
That is actually a better layout. The open one's runnable. The double red is way more makeable. You know, when it's straight back, it's way easier to visualize, and that's what you practice. Crisscrossing is always harder. Yeah, so Evan's going, don't love. The double peel's possibly just going to push that deeper red into the house. If you hit it thin, they both go. It's good.
Did you ever play on the top one first?
I think the top one is actually the one helping Evan. So I don't mind this double peel, as long as you don't hit the left red super thick, because then you just push the red one in the house. The arrow would be thin and kissing the front one. Or the
Blue Jays
proper
fan
arrows.
Jason Ginter trying to execute a double peel. They're on it right away. And it is executed. They're both gone.
The super perfect would have been leave the yellow one there, but that would have been right crotching it. That's hard to do. So good shot by Jason.
That's the coach in you. I said it could always be a little bit better, right?
Absolutely. You had at least an inch of air on that guard. You could have been better. Go practice.
So with the double peel thrown, Yamamoto with his second.
So yeah, I got what Evan was doing there. That long red guard is helping him, not hurting him. The other reds were a little too tight and ugly, so okay, fine. Still a great force or steal position.
They're wrapping around this one. They will get by. They're about a little less than half open. Shot for the moment.
I didn't think this was necessary, but hey, this is the conservative thing, and they've been playing calm and patient and conservative, so kill the guard. Nothing wrong with it. He could have tried to pick the red one he just threw out to waste some rocks. He could have played a quiet little double bump around the other side.
So the peel being made now, it's decision time for Yamaguchi. All of a sudden, one lonely red in the house. How do you get yourself out of trouble here and avoid a potential 3?
My first thought was their first thought, which is just roll to the, as we look at it, left, flatten it out, take away a double, and hope Evan sets something up backwards. But if you keep your 2 reds spread out enough, it does equate to a force. Hard to do for 4 straight rocks, but that's part of the game. So the goal here would be to roll flat even with that other red one, kind of biting 8-foot, 12-foot boundary.
So hit and roll attempt here for Tsuyoshi Yamaguchi. Has managed this game pretty well thus far. Not a lot of misses. The misses have been minor on both sides. See if he can sit 2 when everything's said and done.
It's interesting you say that because I was thinking the first 2 ends are his hits all over curled, but since then he's definitely corrected.
There's the hit. That's not going to roll too far, but that is not a very easy double, so it's actually a pretty good spot.
Correct. Anything on a 45-degree angle is a hard double. So Evan's just thinking to roll right back where it was. You like being basically right in front of the red, because then any hit that Yamaguchi's team plays is going to be a tougher, longer roll and hard to stick around.
Here is that hit and roll attempt, and it will roll just past the red. Overrolled by about a rock length.
It's actually kind of a pesky little spot. It's really hard for Yamaguchi to roll away from their own red one. If you hit it to try to roll to the right, you clip the red, which, you know, moving it a foot or 2 is fine. If you want to try to roll back where it was, you're going to scooch over the top of your own. You hate to leave it in front of your red. Evan would be perfectly happy with that double takeout.
Yeah, you can't rely on the roll right on top of it, make it perfect. You couldn't double it, a jam, because then you're an inch off and the double is easily made, and then it's 2 all day.
I think I would probably play for the roll back where it just was. It's high enough. You can scooch over top of the red one. Even if you touch the red and it shuffles back a couple inches, is no big deal. Got to add a little bit of weight. Board would be barely enough for the length of roll they're after.
Seems like more weight based on the broom here, don't you think?
Correct.
So Yamaguchi's second. Where will he roll?
They're on it right away.
This one is pretty close. Now they need to curl. There's the hit. There's the roll. I think they might have glanced at red. That's a pretty good roll there.
It is doubleable. They're close enough that Evan can make it. I suppose it's Jeremy Hardy that'd be throwing, but all the same, Evan's team could make this double. You're looking at quarter to a third. A little higher maybe with this turn.
Yeah, the opportunity is certainly there. The reward is certainly worth it. Let's see if he can make both reds disappear. They're on it right out of hand.
Jeremy was a bit tight on an earlier hit too.
They will make contact with both. He does make the double. He rolls over to the side. Very, very good shot for Jeremy Hardy.
So yeah, you can, little tiny fishtail. Sweepers on early, knowing that thin is better than thick. Walk it all the way down. Nothing to it. Bang. Ba-boonk. 2 in the quarter. A little less hit weight than a little less connection on the other one, but it went out.
Gord, I absolutely love the sound of rocks hitting, but I think we need more Looney Tunes sounds when those things collide.
Connor needs some overlays. Ba-doink. Bow. Biff. Bop.
Rocks from the Acme Corporation.
I guess that was a little too vintage Batman. Looney Tunes would be more...
Oh, yeah. Yes. I was more of a Roadrunner fan myself growing up.
Well, Yamaguchi's now just kind of playing in hopes of a small miss. Something that gives them a chance for a double back.
Yeah, that was a good hit and roll there. Going back 4, but on the center line, so that will force Evan to go one way or the other. Yeah, he can't go, well, actually he can't go into the guard, but he can certainly roll open.
You got it partly in front of the yellow, which is what you were after, so that Evan has to navigate that back one a little bit, not clip his own or anything like that. Plenty of room to roll to. Anything less than 7/8 of the rock. Not overthrowing them. Very nice to see.
There's the hit, or they're going to roll over a few feet. And that's going to leave reasonable /double attempt for Yanagisawa.
You're certainly going to try it. The reward of the double is what you're after. Hitting and rolling somewhere, Evan's just going to play the exact same shot. So you're going to try this one. If you hit it a bit thin, stuff it, and roll out, then Evan's going to draw for 2. That's rock's too high for split, so no harm in trying the double.
Well, as we saw earlier in this end, the lead stones were just angled really bad for Yamaguchi, and so they were, I think, playing this entire end to manage the damage. But we'll see if Yanagisawa can make the double here. They hit it, and they just jam a little bit. It's going to stick in the back. This will be a chance for 2 here for Van Amsterdam.
Ever so slight oversweep. You'd only needed to curl, call it a millimeter.
Yeah.
I guess they weren't sweeping super hard, but man, even if you could have milked a little bit of curl out of it. Valiant effort. Like I said, there was no harm in trying.
Yeah, with that speed, sometimes it's difficult. If they pound it hard early, you might make it fall back a little bit.
Yeah, I don't coach people to sweep peels to create curl too often. It's going too fast. To your point, you're going to make it worse, better, more so than better.
With all that being said, we have a just draw into the house for 2 points. Does not seem to be any concern on anyone's side. Net will gently go in for a second point, and Van Amsterdam will take a 5-3 advantage. We're through with 5, and we will be right back.
That's life. That's what all the people say.
Hey Ben, what's the Aztec Safety online e-learning website again?
Yeah, that would be aztecsafety.com.
Fire extinguisher and firefighting, we'll send that one to Paul.
Ah, now here's a course I should probably take. Conflict resolution.
Power line safety. Yeah, I thought it might help me with my line calls. Did you know this Aztec website has over 100 safety courses?
Jeez. Aztec Safety online course. Ground disturbance. Could have used that a few seconds ago.
Live curling rocks. And this November, the best in the world are coming to Tahoe. Get your seats now at gsoctickets.com. But hurry, early bird pricing ends soon.
Hey guys, what can I get started for you today?
Bananas away, regular?
And I'll have the rip berry, but can I get vanilla oat milk, and I'll add spinach and ginger? And can I substitute the raspberries for strawberries? Also add the chia and hemp seed, and definitely have the power booster and the collagen booster. And can I get that blended twice?
Wow.
For Alicia, Custom Chaos?
One of a kind.
You're one of a kind.
Booster juice, freshly made, your way.
We're back here in the 6th end. Had a litany of good shots here in the quarterfinal matchup between Team Evan Van Amsterdam and Team Tsuyoshi Yamaguchi. And Gord, we're starting to see more points on the board. A lot of shots being made, couple attempts to get out of it for Yamaguchi, but it ended up in a 2 nonetheless.
This is almost, Briar level curling. Like, you're taking advantage of quarter rock mistakes. Like, think about that double guard in the last one. Had it not been partly buried, it's pro Yamaguchi. It ends up partly buried, it's pro Van Amsterdam. And you're only talking 3 inches of overcurl. So these two teams are really pushing it when they get small mistakes to work with.
Absolutely. The margin of error on these shots, it's minuscule. You'd be happy with it in many other games, but in a game like this where you're playing teams, you got Van Amsterdam ranked number 49 in the world, Yamaguchi number 26. There's not a lot you're going to be able to get away with, so to speak, and it's definitely showing up.
So this end is following script again. Evan threw his first one top 4, said, you decide what to do. Yamaguchi said, fine, here's my corner guard. Evan threw another one in, a little deeper than the last response. And now Yamaguchi has to say, you know what, 6th end, I really want to score here, but I want to score more than one. So he's going to go with the double corner.
So this is Satoshi Koizumi throwing this guard. His fan base for this team is staying up late. In Karuizawa, it is 1 in the morning already. I don't know how they do it, but they are certainly tuning in.
Well, I don't know. When I was in my 20s, 1 in the morning was prime time.
So, even on a Sunday, though?
That was the worst one.
Yeah.
Now, it's not so much my life anymore. 1 a.m. I would be dragging.
1 in the afternoon.
So we got 2 corners, and Evan's going to now throw one in the middle. And Yamaguchi has 6 rocks to figure out how to chisel those 2 in the top house out.
Ginter's guard will cover both of them. Might be looking at some kind of run. Change the angles a little bit.
Oof. Oof.
Well said.
This is either going to be brilliant or awful.
Win. A man of few words scored Copperthorne.
1 word with a lot of message.
Yes.
Yeah, if you get all 3 yellows going, you're looking pretty. You leave any of them behind and a red center guard, you're really giving Evan a huge opportunity.
Takeru Yamamoto has made a couple beauties here. He is going to just take care of the top one and roll to a wide corner.
And that's definitely the acceptable error. That guard was so well placed, you're happy to say, you know what, I'm just going to take it off and make you throw it that good again. Because if that guard's even an inch or 2 offline, you can do the run back and your guard rolls out of the way. So basically, Evan has to keep putting it back perfect.
So far, everyone has been near perfect.
Ooh, Jason's blinked.
Don't know why I just said that.
Ooh, that's actually a double ouch. Now you can get 2 yellows moving, and kind of like that other end, you can actually roll under that guard.
Yeah,
that
so
would
that
be
guard slips in. That's not an auto double, but you hit it the right way, and you can make 2 go.
Well, had that been 4 feet shorter, at least you knew red was leaving a guard of some sort. Now you've given them the chance to take out yellows and definitely not leave a guard. Leave their rock in the house, potential scorer. That's an unfortunate oops. I like this call. Hit and roll under the guards and get at least a couple yellows moving. To your point, Yamamoto's been the master of these complicated shots.
We'll need another good one out of him. He attempts a hit and roll, potential double.
Not overthrowing it, which is nice. Give your sweepers a chance.
There's the hit. They will make contact. They will get rid of 1. They will stagger the other 2, and the shooter is a little bit undercover. A lot of positives on that shot.
I might say they were a hair light. Had they done that a little heavier, then you roll under. Those yellows, they did set up a nice double back. But Evan's going to look to actually hit the red thin enough to scatter those yellows a little bit. Objective 1, remove the red. Objective 2, scatter your yellows around and break up the gimme double.
Jeremy Hardy's first. On it right away. Now off. Hit contact, collide with their yellow, and like you just said, they scattered them around, and they're sitting the 3 right now. Is there a triple?
It's not a textbook triple. You could definitely get them all to go out. It's looking like about thick 3/4 on the top one with significant weight, and yes, they'd all start moving and spinning. They're looking at the longer double, and again, roll under those 2 guards to the, as we see it, right side. I don't mind that. You don't have to get rid of all 3 yellows in one shot. You've got 4 rocks to go.
Yeah, certainly a couple options here.
I also wouldn't be against the bottom yellow hit and roll under the guards, because then you'd be second for sure and buried. Sometimes you don't need to worry about those rocks that are in the 12-foot.
Yeah, judging by the ice and placement, I think they are going for the double between the top one and the bottom one and roll underneath the 2 red guards.
That'd be a nice outcome.
This is Tsuyoshi Yamaguchi. The skip throwing the 3rd stones. He's been throwing a lot of hit and rolls this game. See if he's got another one. Sleeper's been on it pretty much the entire time. He's got the hit. Will make contact, and the roll will go underneath. Jams the other one, but they are under cover. Their 3rd shot for the time being.
It was a bit thin for the double, and they rolled a little far, but they're under the guards, and that was, in my book, the primary goal. And they ended up setting up a fairly obvious double on your next one.
Now, what does Evan do to make the shot difficult as possible to avoid the potential double? He could guard, he could make a play on the reds, he could do a few different things here.
Yeah, he's kind of basically taking the scoreboard stance here. If it was a 1-point game, you might throw the guard. But they've been cautious and patient, so basically he's just hitting that longer red and either making the double or rolling for a guard. I don't really see them both happening, but it's possible. 2 potential outcomes. Primary goal, get rid of that red guard so you can hit the red one in the house on your next shot.
Let's see what Hardy can do here with the 2nd. How many reds can he get gone? He's got 1, and he will clip the other one. And that is a double and rolls underneath. You got a staggered guard there. Let's take a look at this one again.
So like I say, the primary goal was to get rid of the guard, but you can get 2 outcomes. So Jeremy's got plenty of weight on this one. And as soon as he lets go, Evan has to choose. And he goes, you know what? We're going to play the run back. So they watch it. They get on a little bit. Bang, bang. 2 in the corner. A little bit of an unfortunate double corner guard. If they roll underneath that double corner, it's going to be trickier for Evan. So once again, they have a choice to make. Is the roll important or is the double important? I would be going for the roll. I would love to roll fully under those 2 corner guards.
Yeah, some of these shots, it looks like you could get both outcomes. This one certainly is a one or the other. So Yamaguchi will make a play on that top yellow. Similar controlled managed weight.
They're a bit thin on the last one. See if they clean up the line a little.
They make contact. They're going to roll underneath, and that is underneath.
Very nice.
Yeah, is that did that roll a little bit too far?
You could pick it out with an out-turn hit of some sort. The double run would be an awfully audacious call, but it does look fairly lined up. Yeah, 2 inches less roll would have been ideal. But the upside here is even if Evan hits it, his shooter's rolling away. He's not going under the guards or closer to the middle. So certainly an A, if not an A plus on that hit and roll.
Yeah. So we're down to skip stones, and Van Amsterdam will try to chase it on the outside.
These sheets have been playing really nice, even out into the 12. But this is sometimes where you sit there and go, oof, are we going to find that spot where it doesn't curl anymore? So, keep your weight manageable and trust the sheet.
And both teams have been throwing very high percentages with this sort of down weight. They've got this one managed pretty well. They will collect the red one, spill it out, and roll out as well. So that leaves Yamaguchi the choice to use the guards or make a play on shot stone.
I like this. This is how you set up your skips deuce. Put it under there. Make Evan have a choice. Chase it, try to outdraw it, or throw a guard, and give yourself a chance at the two. You could hit the wide open one, but then you're really relegating yourself to likely one. There's no great roll. Even if you rolled under the guard, it would be fairly deep, and Evan could pick it out again or freeze to it, so on and so forth. So this draws a good choice.
So the first stone here for Riku Yanagasawa, the fourth on this team. Does he have the touch to get underneath? Troopers are on it for a long time. Not too bad. Push it over a little bit. That'll land fully in the 8. That's pretty much gone underneath the guards.
There's not a lot Evan's going to do with that one. No pick, because it's that little bit more tucked under. So here we go. That's your list. You've got some kind of a freeze. You've got draw for second to force one, or you've got guard. It's really your choices at this point. My inclination would be draw to be second rock somewhere and force one. This does not smell like a steal to me. Give one, get the hammer back. Parker's thinking, hey, there's a steal chance here. And it's certainly doable. If you walk a perfect guard, foot short of the house, right splitting the center. So the reason they're talking about the red side freeze so much is because then there's no double. If you're corner frozen and second shot against the red one, then the double kills the red. The other choice would be draw flat with that yellow one to the other side, full 8 foot. But if you mismanage the weight, you could technically give a double for 2.
Well, also on this, if this freeze is heavy, and let's say, Gord, they go back 4, back 8, like behind that red, there would be a double, but it would be a double where you'd have to hit and roll out. So I think there's a couple opportunities, a couple good spots on this line for Van.
Absolutely. Yeah, going deeper is fine, and that's where your sweepers have to be realistic in their weight call. You can't say top 8 because that's where you want it to be. You have to be honest. Yes. Hey, this is T-line. Okay, fine, we're going around it.
This has the best result plus tolerance, so I do like it here. So we'll see what happens. Not a whole lot yet from either sweeper.
The only must is be second.
And that will bounce and roll, and they are sitting the 2. Really good shot there for Van Amsterdam.
That's not a... I don't think that's a makeable double because it's at least going to clip that red, which was why they chose that shot.
Agreed. I think that is not there. They can look at it all they want, but I don't see a way to spill both yellows without also spilling your red.
I like what they're actually thinking here. Could you hit the bottom one thick enough and do a roll over and just push the yellow one a rock away? You don't need to take it out. You only need to move it about a rock width. It's a bit high. To me, it feels like you're going under it.
You'd have to go across the face as well.
Yeah, with the flat
You'd have
roll.
to do the clockwise turn.
Correct.
Ooh.
Yeah. I don't know if it's there.
Is it worth giving up a steel gourd?
No, I'd be happy down 1. I'd be unhappy down 2. Sorry, 3. Tie game is not worth risking being down 3 with only 2 ends left. And I really don't even see any other choice. There's no run backs. There's no promotions. There's this feels like a take your medicine, score your 1.
Yeah.
Force 1 back, try for a 2 and 8, something in that ballpark.
Well, they've got the best angle at this. And it appears that based on the deliberate placement, they may be attempting that flat roll, hit the underside. It does look like they're going for it.
They're certainly going to try.
Perhaps the miss is that if they do just hit 2 right on the nose, that they do get the 1.
Correct. It would be real easy to roll just a hair too far.
So here we go. Rico Yanagisawa coming with as much weight as he can. Needs a nose hit, possibly hitting the underside. They got the roll, and that is just going to squeak underneath and settle in, but they will take the 1 point, and they will be down 5-4. We've got 2 ends to go here. We'll be right back.
Developed over a decade in collaboration with the finest ice makers this side of the Atlantic, the Pebblehead PB5 is nothing short of a triumph of sophistication and craftsmanship. Weighing less than half its lumbering copper predecessors, yet boasting 10-fold their durability, the PB5 delivers perfect, consistent ice, time after time. The PB5 by Pebbleheads.com, the apex of ice-making ingenuity for the roaring game of curling.
The 2025-2026 Grand Slam of Curling schedule is out, with big events happening all over Canada, like the Masters heading to London in September, the Tour Challenge from Nisku this October, the Canadian Open from Saskatoon in December, and the Players' Championship from Steinbeck coming in January. Early bird weekend and full event passes on sale now at gsoctickets.com. Let's rock!
Seventh end here. the Saville Grand Prix in Edmonton, Alberta. And Matt Sussman alongside Gord Coppathorne. And Gord, we saw they're in the sixth. An attempt that may not have been there. They ended up getting the point all the same.
Full marks for trying. I don't think he could have thrown it any harder. He was clean. They had to sweep it a little bit. But I just don't think he had the ability to make that. Heck of a try. Still got one.
Absolutely. So the tolerance, hit it right on the nose, get the point. And we are back to, guess what? Bunch of rocks on the center line.
That is a really high guard.
Oh boy, is that, yeah. Last night I did a game where we had a rock on the hog line that was in play, which is my favorite type of rock in play. What could they be talking about here?
That is a solid question. You know what they need to do? They need to nose tap that one. So you have a rock that doesn't even look like it's properly in play.
That's right. That's what I want. That's what I'd be doing.
I think at the end of the day, they settled on tap that yellow one back a foot or two.
You know, one of my favorite club rules, we do a club spiel sometimes at our club, and I do a special rule where you can put rocks on the hog line and they do stay in play. And they count for points.
Well, who doesn't love a fun event?
That is not the rule here, though. So I think Koizumi will just go around this one. Maybe they're deciding on if they want this as a guard, they want this where the placement of this one is.
They talked about guard, they talked about short tap. They talked about freeze. Really, it's all fine.
Trying to get this one to curl over. That settles in, a couple feet in front of shot stone.
And Evan will just get that one out of the way. There's a couple ways you could play this. Looks like he's sticking with board weight, style shot, maybe a strong board.
So Van Amsterdam does have the lead and the hammer. It is the seventh end. He's probably going to want this sheet to be as clean as possible. See the soft hit attempt here. Hits the yellow, or hits the red rather. That will just squeak out of play, and they roll over to the side. They're sitting the two for now.
I take a quick look at the chat here. I certainly appreciate everybody talking along with us. Very active bunch. Thank you very much. Yeah, Evan and Parker did that exactly as to plan. Get the red out and roll over to the edge somewhere. This is going to be one of those ends where Yamaguchi's just going to have to take on a little bit of discomfort and risk. Leave a few yellows sitting around and just hope they don't come back to haunt you.
We got about a halfway guard there. Free guard zone is now off. Evan will start hitting anything possible. He will go for that halfway one. It is the scarier of the two guards.
Yeah, this is going to feel a bit like an eighth end. Peel guard, place guard, peel guard, place guard until Yamaguchi feels like he has to go into the house.
Peel's made.
That was the subtle miss in their second rock at the end. It wasn't frozen and it wasn't a guard.
Mm-hmm.
Even if they had, as they spoke about, push that yellow one back 2 feet under the button, then you would have given yourself better freeze opportunities.
So as these guards are being put up, you know they're going to disappear. If you're a skip, you start to think about what the shot's going to be when it's time to change gears. And Gord, it looks like you got a couple yellows, not really a pocket. Is there anywhere that they could place a stone that would make the two difficult or give them the force?
My inclination is probably thirds second. You're going to want to push that yellow one backwards about a foot. Because then Evan's going to have to deal with your red one. Well, maybe they can do it earlier. This is a rock earlier than I was thinking, but that's fine. Oh, okay, they just go the guard the other way, so that might catch on the side yellow. That's fine too. My thought process is push the one on the button basically back a foot. Evan probably picks you out or some kind of hit and roll. Then you have two choices. You have the double or freeze, and you would be shot rock. But yes, it's a 2 rock situation at this point. Because even if you just freeze that one as is, Evan has the draw to the side of the button or choices that other one outside. So the 2 is easier for Evan if you don't move it back a little. On this one, he's looking for, again, a tight guard, but thinking, hey, maybe if we go this side, he'll accidentally crash it into his own yellow.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. The weight seems to be pretty good. Wants this to show a little bit. Actually, that's going to go right underneath. So you can't really pick that one out. They're lined up pretty good.
They actually did that too good. Evan's not going to be enticed into hitting the guard. So now he might just freeze his own.
Very interesting.
Evan's saying, hey, they could theoretically throw the skinny double. Even if they do, then they'll be wide open. That's kind of the conversation he was just having. So if he puts this one top 4 under those 2 reds, he's now looking pretty good for even a chance at a 3.
And that would probably be ball game. We'll see if Hardy can get underneath the red guards.
Yeah, you would love to be kind of like full 4 right in front of your own. This is a bit out there. This is a lot out there.
This is heavy too. Goes past. Yamaguchi sweeps it back. And that is going to go just out. So that is probably the first hole miss we've seen this game.
Yeah, that one goes in the bucket of bad. There's a lot of ways you could have done that, but in my world, you either have to improve your situation or force the opponent to do something they may not want to do. That did neither. Hence, bad.
Yes.
Now, some people would say, hey, you didn't throw a guard, so on and so forth, and I get that. But at this level, you had basically the entire house to draw to. Anyways, not lamenting about that. This is a great opportunity now for them to, in my book, again, I'd love to see them just push it about a rock. Enough that it's just behind the tee line. But Frozen is still a good shot.
So yes, doors wide open here for Tsuyoshi Yamaguchi. He's been waiting quite a while to get back in control of this game. And he's down a point. He does not have last rock. And a chance here to steal or force.
Both great outcomes in their book. Plus or minus one. That was their objective this whole end.
This will be Yamaguchi's second throw at the end. Nothing from the sweepers yet.
Is it
a fast path?
Certainly could be. It's following the exact same line as Hardy's.
There's the pushover. So they're going to go past. They're going to actually go around and half bury behind shot stone. So their second shot for the time being.
Evan's still smelling 3 because he could easily just pick that one out. But that doesn't really improve his situation much. He can sit 2 with a really nice draw. Yeah, Yamaguchi really needed to err on the light side. Even if he'd have been top 8 there, would have made Evan's life way harder.
See if Hardy can bounce back. Find the touch.
Well, they're on it early, so we definitely took weight off.
This one is coming in. Should be full 8, and it is. It is 4th shot, but you're starting to see a cluttered 4-foot, Gord.
That force 1 is definitely looking pretty good right now. You could corner freeze the yellow on the 4-foot. You could corner freeze the one Hardy just threw, and that protects yours at the back. The double is makeable. My only fear with the double is you would sit pretty much wide open and probably give a double back. And now that one Jeremy just threw is going to be a high likely scorer. So I don't love the double.
Yeah, the double would leave you a hit and roll, which pretty much does the same thing as a freeze, which is easier in the first place, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they've been playing hit and rolls all game, so maybe it's just that's what they like to do.
It's going to be hard to corner freeze that one on the 4-foot. There's not a ton of room. There's lots of curl, so it's certainly doable. But again, even if you're a hair light and corner freeze that front yellow one, Evan's going to have a fairly hard shot to get a second one in there. You can draw the outside edge of the 4-foot for 2. Kiss off his own for 2, I suppose.
So Team Yamaguchi's having a confab in the house. Going over all of those options. They seem to be gravitating toward that hit and roll or double attempt.
The only thing about the hit and roll that maybe be enticing to them is you can actually get under that yellow one that Evan and Jeremy just put there. That's a hard draw, but it is there. I generally prefer drawing it when you're looking for precise placement over a roll.
Could the other factor, Gord, be they have attempted some draws down that path and they haven't figured out how fast that path is?
I won't say no, but now that they've seen 3, they should be able to use their timers and their intuition to get it right.
Yeah, on that intern path, you had one go through, you had another one go 3 feet heavy, and then another one a couple feet light. Hit and roll seems to be what they want to do.
Nope. I'm not sure if they're calling a timeout or not. It just seems like at best you're going to be right beside the yellow. I'm not sure how you roll on top of the yellow one. And if there's any chance of leaving a double for For Evan, I would not want to throw that.
Yes.
That looks like Bob Ursel.
So they're bringing the coach out with he's got his, looks like he's got his laptop with him. Clipboard.
Electronic book of all the good information and notes.
I'll tell you what, I've seen a lot of coaches' timeouts. I have not seen people bring visual cues out. But now that you see it, Gord, it's like how come they don't do that more, like the basketball clipboard where they're showing the play. They can tell them exactly what they want to see. That seems very useful.
I always do it with a notepad as opposed to a laptop, so my notepad never leaves my side. But yes, I've never walked out with a computer before.
That is Bob Ursel, coaching Team Yamaguchi here. No, I like the whiteboard. I think that would be a really useful thing. You can modify it as you need, because you're always seeing coaches or fifths come out and they're just pointing because they can't be right there.
The one thing I do as a coach is I track the weights that are being thrown down paths, because I like to be able to say, hey, this path recently was pick a number 14-8 or whatever. So that is one of the things I keep a lot of track of. So to your point, you can lend useful information, not just strategy. But all that said, I do think the corner freeze is your only real choice here.
Seems to be what the conversation was. And that's a good opportunity. If you have a chance to, if you have a coach in the warm room that's been looking at this and you're kind of frazzled, maybe just need a second opinion. It's good to kind of calibrate your brain and get on the same page and say, all right, this is the call.
So, perfect corner frozen on the button. Secondary, partly tucked. Corner frozen on the front one's fine because it actually leaves that hit and roll with protection. So there's a lot of good places for this draw, so long as you're not heavy.
So Riku Yanagasawa. This one is tracking, though. This is deep. Here it comes, though. Maybe it's slowing up. Needs to bend a little bit, and it stops just in time. Not frozen, but it is in the way.
Sweepers actually gave up on it. If they stayed on that, I think they had it.
It's a deceptive line, Gord, because it looked like it was never curling. It was on that wide one for the longest time. But like you said, if they would have kept going, they could have dragged that another half foot. And that would have been the perfect spot.
If that walks over like 1.5 inches, that's a really nice shot. As it is, it's still pretty good. Like, there's a lot of risk that Evan could take his own out. But he's willing to take that risk on because he's going to be sitting, at worst 2-3. If he noses this, he's going to be sitting 4, and there's going to be no path for Yamaguchi.
This is a tricky one here for Evan, but you're right. He does have a nose double.
They just gave up on that. 2 inches.
Yes.
Foot more time to let it curl, and it was brilliant.
It's all the difference it is. And if he makes this, then they might be left with that hit and roll that they've been wanting to do the first one. So here's Evans. First stone of the 7th end. Can he make the double? He does curl this over, and they will make the double. That's a really nice shot there, Evan Van Amsterdam. They are now sitting the 4 with hammer.
Now it is the need for perfection. Anyways, as you can see here, Evans coming in, they walk it across with a sweep. Bang, bang. You didn't actually need that red one to leave. You just needed it to not be in the 8 foot. So that was an excellent shot.
So now we have this hit and roll. This is the call now, Gord.
Yeah, you have no choice. You have to get it underneath of that yellow. Maybe get a corner on that other one. Cross your fingers after that.
It's going to leave a run attempt even if this is made. So first things first, this is coming in heavy, it looks like. Needs to roll flat underneath cover to save the game here.
I'm not even afraid of rolling under that one on the forefoot. Or sorry, on the button.
Yeah, so Riku. Yanagasawa's last for Team Yamaguchi. They need this one to curl over. Makes contact, needs to roll, and it's going to roll completely underneath. There is, however, a short run for 4 if they want to take it on, and they will.
Yeah, they didn't even look at it, but in hindsight, I kind of feel like if you'd have played the other turn and rolled under the one on the button, you actually might have had a good chance at force. This is the same shot Evan just threw. Next to no risk. Chance for 4.
Yeah. Even if you hit this high, I think you just kind of cue off that yellow. It still goes into the red. So I think there's a lot of ways they can make this shot here for Evan Van Amsterdam. Final stone of the 7th. Can he punch a ticket to the semifinals with this rock? Doesn't need to throw it hard.
Looking money.
Make contact with the yellow, then to the red. And that is 4 points on the board for Van Amsterdam, and that is handshakes. So they will go on to the semifinals with a 9-4 victory over Team Yamaguchi. Gord, that's all we had here for the 7th end. Pretty good end for them.
Yeah, really good game. Even that end went actually down with the last rock. Second last one by Yamaguchi was unfortunately the linchpin, but all in all a great game.
Absolutely. So Gord Coppathorne, thanks for being here. My name is Matt Sussman. We have the semifinals coming up later this afternoon. Team Van Amsterdam will get an end free of break, a little bit more than everyone else. We'll see who they play. Thank you so much for watching. We'll come back with more action this afternoon.
Live curling rocks. And this November, the best in the world are coming to Tahoe. Get your seats now at gsoctickets.com. But hurry, early bird pricing ends soon.